بسم الله وبالله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على خاتم الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters in Iman, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So, even though this is my 22nd book review, in reality today is the 23rd of Ramadan, the last Friday of the holy month, which Imam al-Khomeini rahimahullah alayh declared as Yawm al-Quds. He said, I invite Muslims from all over the globe to consecrate the last Friday of the holy month of Ramadan as al-Quds Day, and to proclaim the international solidarity of Muslims in support of the legitimate rights of the Muslim people. Therefore, Yawm al-Quds is a day of support for the oppressed, the suffering people of Palestine, and all other subjugated Muslim groups in the world. Therefore, Yawm al-Quds is a cry for justice, a slap in the face of imperialist powers and oppressors. It is a message that the downtrodden will no longer be repressed. Imam al-Khomeini ignited a revolutionary fervor in the once sleeping Ummah, but he did not accomplish this alone, for there were others before him, those whom he was inspired by, and one such person is the highly controversial and quite misunderstood Sayyid Qutb. Thus today's book review is on al-Adalat al-Ijtimaiya fil Islam, Social Justice in Islam, written by Sayyid Qutb and translated by John B. Hardy and revised and edited by Hamid Al-Jar. Sayyid Qutb is misunderstood as the inspirer of modern day jihadism. He's labeled as almost like a boogeyman, an inspiration to groups such as Al-Qaeda. However, this is not true. He was a critic, a fierce critic, severe critic of the vices, the wrong, the negative norms in Muslim society. This made him an outcast, and propaganda campaigns, smear campaigns were made against him. Nonetheless, his works are enough of vindication for him. The three main points of concern that Sayyid Qutb discusses in this book are persistence of gross socioeconomic inequality in most Muslim societies. 2. The need for reviving Islam as a totality, demanding comprehensive implementation. 3. The depiction of the West as a neo-crusading force. Sayyid Qutb criticized the act of Muslim worlds today, such as taking Western methodologies for attaining social justice and peace, even though they don't even work. That Muslims pay little attention to their own native spiritual resources and intellectual heritage. That very few Muslim countries implement Islamic guidelines. That the precedents set by the Prophet, peace be upon him, are ignored, whereas the methodologies of Western nations are imported and adopted. Sayyid Qutb in this book describes 3 foundations of social justice in Islam. The first is freedom of conscience. Islam started by liberating the human conscience from slavery and submission to anyone but Allah Azza wa Jal. When the human mind has come to know all this freedom of conscience, it is free from the least shadow of servility, saved from the humiliation of need and beggary, and it can rise superior to its desires and its bodily appetite. The second is human equality. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam once said, do not venerate me as Christians venerate Jesus, son of Mary. I am only a servant of Allah and His Messenger. That of Rasulullah, the greatest prophet, the greatest man to ever exist, to ever walk on this planet, explains that he is just a servant, just a mere servant created to worship Allah. How can us people treat others with discrimination. There is no sex discrimination, caste system, oppression of the poor, social stratification, and race superiority in Islam. We must treat others the way we want to be treated. The third is mutual responsibility in society. In an Islamic society, there are rights and responsibilities of all people and things, hukuk, that must be upheld. Responsibility towards their own selves, towards their family and society, and those around them. It is a duty of all Muslims to ensure the rights of the others are upheld. It's a mutual responsibility. When one is cognizant of the rights of others, they will not mistreat the other, which will ultimately make society a just place. So according to Sayyid Qutb, these three aspects, if put in place, a socially just society would arise. By writing this book and others, he made people open their eyes and minds that there are no other ways to live but in peace and harmony, other than the world of justice implemented by true Islamic teachings and guidelines which come from Allah Azza wa Jal alone. Intimidated by the potential of Sayyid Qutb's ideas, the Egyptian government had him executed on August 29th, of 1966. For if he stayed alive, the status quo of oppression in the region would truly have faced a worthy opponent. So, there you have it. This concludes today's review. If it was of any benefit, please reward me with your prayers, and remember to pray for all the oppressed in the world, especially in Palestine, Bahrain, Pakistan, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Africa, wherever they're oppressed. Remember them in your prayers. Till tomorrow, Assalamu alaikum and fi amanillah.